Yeah.
There we go.
Flex. Air. That's right. All right now. I'm an alien. I'm an alien. Pilotman came like the Spider-Man with his amazing friends. You should know I came to win. I'm live on space again. Don't play with me, play with your bitch, or you can play with Wham. It's not. I'm an alien. I'm an alien. I'm an alien. I'm an alien. I'm rich on with it in and out of space again. I keep tripping, we ain't gotta make a man. When this shit start getting thick, I think it's time to make it thin. Hating on an angel when you will see a Satan sin. I transition to a house every 2 hours, 8 to 10. I ain't worshiping no mental god, I'm like the pagans did. You was just a small god, like before you made it big. Life will burn you like some alcohol before you take a swig. You want your congratulations way before they gave a toast. Had your spirit on the station way before they made a vote. How your ass want respiration, they ain't tryna pay the bill. Only thing that they concerned with is how they gon' take your soul. Leave your body on the river top so it can stink and flow. Yeah, soon as you start to stink, that's when you start to sink. Baby, this is Star Wars, but you are Jar Jar Binks. Yeah, life be going so fast, but I can hardly think. See so much it's hard to blink. Hop up in that plane again, came straight out of space, and that's the picture you could paint a man. I'm an alien, I'm an alien. Pilotman came like the Spider-Man with his amazing friends. You should know I came to win. I'm live on space again. Don't play with me, play with your bitch, or you can play with Wham. It's not. I'm an alien, I'm an alien, I'm an alien, I'm an alien. All rich on with it in and out of space again. I keep tripping, we ain't gotta make a man. Yeah, they fight for crowns, not a loaf of bread. Yeah, they outdated and their soul is dead. Yeah, it's so cold like a polar bear. Yeah, go to church if you know you're scared. Yeah, your girl soft but I've been hard. Unusual but I stay connected like a phone that's home with no SIM card. Try to get jail with down the hill, hot life fulfilled but I've been scarred. Best believe I got tough skin, and when I explode it's like 10 stars. You don't go nowhere but I've been far. Spin cycles like a washing machine. Switch titles to the cover of me. Shit vital when you're not on your knees. Words are spells and a turn to L's when you worship idols and you got me in knees. That big like shy got you be, but you turn it into a Demi urge. Yeah, I might live in the hood right now, but as soon as I be living in the birds. Act like a dog when I fuck a broad until that little pretty little kitty got a purr. Then I wanna watch your seat really still at this start to hate me and niggas got a nerve. It's a Pilotman, hop up in a plane, now you can see how niggas dipping through the earth. Yeah, I'm an alien, I'm an alien. Pilotman came like the Spider-Man with his amazing friends. You should know I came to win. I'm live on space again. Don't play with me, play with your bitch, or you can play with Wham. Bitch, I'm an alien, I'm an alien, I'm an alien, I'm an alien. I'm rich on with it in and out of space again. I keep tripping, we ain't gotta make a man.
Oh, for that bitch. So they gotta make a man. I'm to make a man. I'ma make it man. If you got the wrong mixture, I'ma make it bland. Flight boss, bitch. Don't take my trend. Oh, but on that, I ain't gonna land. All puns intended on that. Oh, but on that, that's it. And you're gonna understand some goddamn coming in the spiritual world to get out of the filter layers and get in the filter layer and be in the world, and then realize, oh, I just want to be of it, not in it. Now you can just believe, not believe in. Inside something, locked in a cabin, locked in an engine, locked in some satellite manufacturing plant, you know, so whatever the case may be, or locked in your goddamn mind. Wherever it's at, you want to get out of a little covenant. You want to get out of that little box. You want to like see and expand. There's a whole broad universe out there. You ain't got to create no spaceship to go there. You are space. Space between me and you. Your space and my space. We got spirits. I got an individual one. You got an individual one. We got souls. Now we need something to ship through space with, aka my mind and body. Your mind and body. No, I said I'm shipping through space in this motherfucker. Yo, I said real shit. I flew God in a spaceship. I flew God in a spaceship. I brought God down here in the holy chariot and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. And when God started looking around, I was like, what's this fucking shit? It stinks down here. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. I smell fart clouds. In God's world, that's thought forms. And in God's world, that's thought forms. You better motherfucking believe it. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. So a lot of times, you got long dunk t-shirts, Shaquille O'Neal collar t-shirts and shit like that. Shit. God already seen your spirit in the goddamn spiritual world. Your first layer of body, your mind, dirty. You know what I'm saying? Your mind look like Dwayne Wade. Other than that. Your mind look like Cleopatra. Other than that. Your mind look like Sinbad. Your mind look like Dr. Flunky. Other than that. Your mind look like Mr. Burns. And don't go if it went any further than that. That's why The Simpsons was one of your favorite cartoons and shit like that. I'm saying one of your favorite Stephen television shows. Chalk it up there. Chalk it up there. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to get into some real technology, spiritual quality. Your body is already the machine. You're just working like a machine, ain't it? You plug it in when you go to sleep. And then when you go to the dream world, you go to the matrix. That was always supposed to be the first world. You know what I'm saying? That was always supposed to let you know this is full of shit. What is this? This is slop. Then when you wake up, you thought you was eating some filet mignon. You thought you was eating some good old bacon and eggs and cheese, onions on it and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You thought, you know what I'm saying? Then you got to realize throughout history, people been practicing eugenics and shit. You know what I'm saying? You eating big salt box grease balls. That's all you eating when you eat that big old can of Vienna sausage and shit like that. And size of applesauce and shit like that. And a whole goddamn canned good full of some hormone shot goddamn fruit that ain't even crunchy no more. It's all soft, mushy and shit. God, shit. You know what I'm saying? Where they make this at? Wasn't in nobody's backyard, guarantee that. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. You gotta think about that. This ain't the natural texture of a cherry. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the natural texture of a strawberry. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the natural texture of a peach. This ain't the natural texture of a pear. Yo, what is this? Soft, mushy, goddamn grandpa, grandma in a nursing home. Feed me, I ain't a baby no more if I ain't got no teeth energy. What is this? Wait a minute. I say you start to realize that was made out of yeast and fungus and dead bacteria. I say you start thinking real good. Like, wait a minute. You damn sure you could forget about a seed being in that canned good watermelon. I'm saying. Forget about a seed being in that canned good apple slice. Oh, shit. See what? Y'all said that didn't even come from, that ain't come from no seed. Yo, put in that. Thank you so much for the cash app, Tony 2 times. Rest in peace, homeboy from Tony and shit. I appreciate that from my heart. Real shit. So we gotta start thinking. Y'all thought it stopped, that it wasn't no seed in your cantaloupes no more or something like that. Your watermelons and shit. You thought it stopped there. Shit. You remember canned goods? I said a lot of y'all gonna have to survive off canned goods after a while, shit like that. So believe me, you ain't surviving off nothing that grow in nobody's backyard. I said, goddamn God.gov, make sure, hey, y'all can depend on me. Y'all can feed it, make a turd, don't it? Everybody get goddamn bread and fruit. Bread, fruit, and cheese. All this shit is said. Y'all see, I don't know what the cheese is plastic. Y'all say all plastic made for humans to eat. The fruit, some goddamn new oatmeal yeast. Y'all said on some shit, mushy shit or whatever. And then bread. That's it. That's it. Your government assistance, bitch. Oh, on that. Welcome to government assistance, bitch. Oh, that real shit. I be sorry, you can go past the welfare office right now. It's a whole bunch of people going to war on dashiki, goddamn head wraps and shit like that. Right now, that shit like that. Real shit talking about yes, bitch, yes. Yes, bitch, yes. So I said everybody start looking like walking hamburgers and 4th of July hot dogs with relish and mustard on it. You know what I'm saying? Then you gotta start thinking, oh, okay, this must be some type of other culture. This must be American culture. Oh, okay. Say y'all don't know what Japanese people be thinking when they be watching the news sometimes and see an American. Say y'all don't be knowing what certain other countries and stuff be thinking of shit. Oh, Israel. Said all these different countries and stuff. They start looking at stuff. They start looking, what is that? I said, what's that? A walking mayonnaise bag. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, they don't even care about the ethnicity at this point. Y'all became a melting pot over there. Like, what's that? Oh, walking canned good, walking pack of goddamn ramen noodles and shit. Oh, I said real shit. Get your health together. Get your motherfucking health together before we even get into 12 minutes in this bitch. Because we're going to go deep. We're going to go deep. And we ain't even got to, like, I ain't write down no script. Because it's just natural qualities. Even when I write down, I just be wanting to stay on point. But there's good natural qualities to understand. Because first we're going to get into even the aspects before we even created the terms. Fire, water, air, earth. And then whatever y'all create in the consideration of ether. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just going to point that back to your spirit. You observing something. Then you make an emanation and a breakdown into a transition. Then the first transition, 1, that's what you're trying to call fire. Next transition, 2, that's what you're trying to call water. Next transition, 3, that's what you're trying to, y'all get lost in that one. And I'm the god of that one. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Then you get lost in that one. Then 4, then you get lost in that holy one. You know what I'm saying? Get lost into the deep, the ye, the ye. You know what I'm saying? Without the G. But if you want to get lost into a J or G, Jabril, whatever like that, but it's the ye. Yeah. 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 So you get hurt. Yeah. Say it right. Yeah. It gets in your gut. It leave way from you leave from mama. So you leave from mama. You leave that hurt. They make the melt the heart muscle. Make that get melt. Like, yeah. I feel this. You gotta start melting that chakra and goddamn gut muscle. See what I'm saying? You can't be saying everything pseudo because y'all retarded. Say y'all know how to look at life and be like, oh, this part of nature. What this got something to do with the holy outside of me? Can I find that in the holy mama? And then goddamn your land, you'll be able to find it better than someone else. You having comprehension skills better than someone else who probably ain't on the land, don't belong there, and need your advice to understand the ways to go. Other than that, boom, then you'll be able to find that. Then you don't need your actual mama substance or your actual physical mama, your maker, your body for that. You'll be able to replenish from that in the holy. Then you'll get messages from the holy ones, the holy, on how to treat that right and don't abuse it and do it in moderation so it don't look like you're just doing it for self-serving shit and being stingy. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, whatever spiritual space you in to keep you in that mentality, whatever physical representations, the great spirit God and the holy ones gonna make sure you keep those things because those are the things that look like it keep you in the right mentality. So you bring a piece down for God and God give you a piece in physical, even if it's a mental concept that's metaphysical. You can't weigh it, but goddamn it, you got to look at that and be like, yeah, that's God too, bitch. And that might even duplicate some back pockety energy called creativity and attraction. So goddamn it, to stay there. Y'all drift off too much, drift away. You trying to say, hey, come back. Hey, where you at? Allah, shit, Muhammad, oh, shit. I'll say, come back, where you going? Jesus Christ, oh, shit, you gone forever. Gone forever. The opposite direction of shit like that, the Great Spirit, I do not know you. What language is that? You know what I'm saying? You gotta think real good, real clarity and shit like that. And this gonna take you through the holy initiation of the fire, water, air, and earth. What I'm getting ready to talk you through. Bitches, this is the initiation of goddamn part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. You understand the whole procedure of that mechanism. Then you know that mechanism play out in all different energies. I mean, all different starting points. And then when you compare and contrast, you'll know what starting point is at a 1, 2, 3, or 4 phase. And then therefore you won't get lost trying to use 1, 4, 4 or 2, 4, 3 or 3, 4, 1 or something like that and get all lost and start living backwards because you're in some self-serving energy and then you don't understand this esoteric mathematics. You got to understand this esoteric mathematics and goddamn astronomy and shit like that and astrology. If you don't understand it from this aspect, you're going to be learning from me trying to use it for somebody to make somebody's grandmother cry in reality. You're going to go to hell thinking you're doing anything inside of you that motivated you to do something outside of you, think you was getting away with something. No, you're going to hell. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. I'm telling you, this is the whole technology. I'm giving you the technology right now, bitch. Because being a medicine man either leads you to find what seed got that certain smell to be like, what's that pleasant and shit like that. Shit, you got marijuana to this day and shit like that. Then shit, that's how the white man was like, what stuff is that? They created canines and shit. Before you know it, white man next to a piece of paper, we ain't got no more salt, we ain't got no more corned beef and squash, no more tobacco. All I'm saying is they all in somebody's military shelf, goddamn colonizing in Walmart or something. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think straight. You gotta keep things clear and direct so we all can get to heaven. Everybody gotta get to heaven. Shit. If you got grace and you hear it right now, you can say I'm back, and you can right your motherfucking wrong. Right your goddamn left. So left can look like it's for God. And then everybody be righteous in the right way, where you still can have your own peace, your own property, and everybody understand your own holy table, but it look relatable, so everybody look like that's acceptable to do that because they got something like that for themselves. Then shit, everybody will love being a part of each other and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Big old goddamn universal party Pangea in this bitch. See, y'all ain't got no God like that. Y'all other ethnicities and shit don't be having no God like that sometimes. Like, I don't know why y'all make things so hard. Asian, man, they started that shit. They started melting all these metals first and shit like that. Explosion shit. They started trying to put it to the test and shit like that. They goddamn it turned the white man crazy and shit. White man ain't been the same ever since and shit like that. Now, everybody got to get down and lay down. And everybody shouldn't have to suffer for somebody else's father. Genghis Khan and shit. You know what I'm saying? And his seeds and shit. Everybody have to suffer for, you know what I'm saying? Real shit. You gotta think about that sometimes. Sometimes people don't sit down and think. I think sometimes people sit down and think good enough and stuff. But look, check this out, right? When we start to talk about the energies in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, yeah, 5. Now, 5 can be interchangeable, because that's already a duplication of compound. So even if you want to understand the, plagiarized terms, and I don't even want to say plagiarized, but the kind of remixed terminology and the meaning behind it, behind numerology and gematria, put it in simple terms. In your mind, you're trying to calculate things. That's a form of a calculator. We always have this internal mathematics first. This is how we was creating mounds. As above, so below. We play out the specific tribes and bands to play out as stars when you spread out your arms, and pick up your cross when you're standing on your square as being in a band to listen to whatever a prophet or whatever the case, or a medicine man or a medicine woman may be speaking at the moment to keep you on track. Based upon the kind of qualities that y'all hear me speak, it keep you on track, and it'll make you, second question, should you rob the bank or not? Just simple things like that before we try to over exaggerate and make things spooky. You see what I'm saying? Now, but when we're starting to talk about the each transitions and things of that nature, right? Each process and procedure creates a flow, and the flow represent order. So you want to make sure you're maintaining order. So for the most part, anytime you're doing things out of order, you could be starting something when it's at its expiration date. You could be starting something when it's in its thinking period, aka getting ready to fall or reach its fallen state. So if you don't know how to harvest during that time, you don't know how to make something new. So even when you are experiencing a winter or a death, you still have accumulated because you had the right thought, the air, the fall time, aka the fall is the third. So it puts you into an area of understanding the past, water, what became before it, summertime, Cancer, and goddamn the woodpecker. And then for the most part, and then the future, what's first shall be last, last shall be first. Aries, or High Priestess Aaron, how they want to put it in things of that nature, but it would be the big ram, or the falcon, or the first bird that oversee things. Or the hawk. So that's the first bird that oversee things and things of that nature in the daytime, other than nighttime, of whoever born up under that sun or moon will have more of a relatable energy, but be able to see the shadow side of what only could see based upon how it's getting attention or how it's giving attention, aka what's in the light. So that'll be the raven. So that'll be the concept in Africa that they had as MAHÄI. Don't let somebody steal y'all culture and make y'all think that y'all don't know about it. And then for the most part, us Native Americans, it's the raven. Right? So we all got a form of animism in some type of way, shape, or form. So you have to know what we're keeping track of and what animals and fruits and plants is native to a certain land to kind of know, oh, my ancestors had something to do with that, because we know what we making language about, naming a water and the land. And then for the most part, a culture that get derived from that, because we're getting messages from the Holy Spirits and the ones who was there before us, spiritual predecessors beyond our word ancestor. A spirit, just a space, predecessor, just what became before you. It could have took multiple forms beyond a human. So for the most part, all of these things needs to be praised, and you need to honor your spiritual predecessors, aka ancestors and things of that nature, because that keeps you tapped in, aka tapped in has beneficial qualities of what it means to look like, what comprehension is, being intelligent is, stopping your tracks of making mistakes, and being able to compare and contrast between when you're in something synthetic and get ready to do something that soothes the body and the mind, that really is just a self-serving thing because it's some agreeable energy that protect you from vulnerability at the moment based upon some synthetic world that you are in, that ultimately once you at the ending phase of something or the tail end of something, you still won't be fulfilled. And that's what we're here doing. as a spirit, being naked and fulfilling it with something. Being nothing, fulfilling it with something. So no thing, not nothing in a way that somebody trying to teach you, but no thing. And you're trying to become something, which that something is your natural no thing. So that something is going to become one of a kind. So your whole mission is to become one of a kind. No matter if you're in a group effort to build on your own individual subjectivity version of creating the teamwork makes the dream work, which becomes objective. See what I'm saying? So it's always subjective, then objective, not objective, then subjective. So when you're doing things off your own will, to know that it's subjective to make objective, you know that it's us building God, not some God that you created in your mind to make you justify your self-serving practices of some way, shape, or form, or you wouldn't even be here for you to become 18 years old and come up with a dumbass idea like that. See what I'm saying? That only leads to destroying yourself or others. You know what I'm saying? So these are all natural qualities. And when we talk about being a medicine man and things of that nature, right? It's putting you into an energy of knowing that this goes in many fashions. So it helps you go into areas of understanding how to look at this physically in nature and compare and contrast a person's actual natures to the things that we see in the holy holy from their actual holy, their personal natures and characteristics and holy holies within the environment and mama and the motherland, and then getting messages from father's breath, aka the atmosphere, to actually see what kind of characteristics and is it in sync or not. You know what I'm saying? So is your characteristics out of sync with mama? And can you get messages from the holy ones, father's breath, the atmosphere? And if you can't, you're either in an area you don't belong in, and that's why you're feeling weird vibes, or you're giving weird vibes off to other individuals who's more familiar with the area or the template that's being utilized as a spiritual area, aka when a group of spirits come together and make a mental concept, a father, an atmosphere. They could take that template to any environment as a team, and then it could become an inside joke to any outsider, or Malibu Most Wanted concept and thing in that nature. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you kind of look at it within that filter system. These are things you're doing anyway. So it ain't what we do, is how we do it. And these are the things we're calling magic. This is the things we're calling superstitious. But motherfucker, you can't even relate to another motherfucker species or your own motherfucker species and origin without this quality. So when you lack attraction and creativity, you have to replace that and overcompensate that, but you still doing what you're doing anyway, so it's going to be self-reflective. So you automatically show where you lack to another spirit, because we all have to do the same thing, but when you have to overcompensate, even in this less dense layer, why spirits will be able to see where spirits still overcompensating in synthetic realities where it don't even appear to be that way, and y'all lost in worlds competing over shit where that's not even a discussion. So I'm saying, so you have to peep game, be real sensitive to the senses. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, I thought somebody was spamming. So peep game, right? So when you spark an awareness, now spark, don't get lost into the spark and the energies behind it. Do you want to go get lost in 4th of July concepts? We're just talking about emanation. That'll be 1. 2, you start to accumulate the same process, but once you already created a form, it's harnessed or it's fulfilling your space, your nakedness with something in it, right? So now you're just adding more duplications of that, seeing it from different sides, and awareness itself develop substance. So when you jump into another space inside a form you created, and you jump into another area in that, you create another awareness, and that other awareness start to add on as accumulation. Now you can start to see a flow of that so that fire, what was once hot, can start to be cooled off to you. So it's your own internal fire that don't have anything to do with burning, but an accumulation of that, and teamwork makes the dream work. This is how we create the external version of fire. Externally is teamwork makes the dream work. Internally is all of our peace to add on to that for that to be. This is how you know as a spirit, we're creating the world, not being lost in your mind and thinking you're going somewhere that you got to make up some other infinite regress type shit. It must be another God there that made up that world for you to get ready to go to, that you don't know nothing about, but you know all about it, that you get ready to go there in your mind. That don't make no sense. You came up with that idea of being born here at 18. So for the most part, you pluck from this land physically and metaphysically a concept of how clouds move and the sun move, and pluck from the earth and came up with your own mental idea that you get ready to go to a world that you in already inside of your mind that only really suits you. You're gonna go to hell too. You get your ass up out of here. But at the same time, this is where y'all get lost. You know what I'm saying? You ain't come up with no idea about it was a God here, and then you came here, you grew up and became 18 and learned how to do stupid stuff, and then you here. Where else you think you fucking going? You know what I'm saying? So at some point, people just be making up shit and things of that nature in their own mind that a turtle could think of. You know what I'm saying? Or a deer could think of, any animal could think of this shit. So a lot of times deers be smarter, turtles be smarter. A human will become a human and then want to jump back and be like, oh, I'm graduated. I learned so much as an adult. I wish I was back in school, and then come up with synthetic technology to do that as an ability, and then jump back into turtle qualities, jump back into werewolf qualities, jump back into lion qualities. Oh, I'm back in school, but I get to do everything I learned when I was an adult, and then try to create a whole world that seemed like it's high school again. You know what I'm saying? Last time I checked, you ain't got to be in school or college. You could be at a job. You could play sports. You know what I'm saying? You could work for a radio show. It don't matter what it is. Bitch, you in high school part 2. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Bitch, YouTube right now. YouTube is high school. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. It's the new Wild Wild West. Bitch, we all in high school learning from each other, sitting next to each other in classrooms and shit. The end, bitch. Give a fuck what y'all talking about. I said, what else does it look like? What else it look like? I said, last time I checked, this looked just like motherfucking high school, bitch. And I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all, when y'all go to work, it was just like, I don't care if you truck drivers or not, bitch. You know what I'm saying? You going, the teacher is just different. You know what I'm saying? It might take you a while because you driving for a little bit of shit like that. Your periods is longer than other people's periods. Some people work at restaurants. Some people work at blue collar, white collar jobs and shit like that. The periods one longer than others, shit like that. Bitch, you still got taught by the manager and the boss, and they still be stressed out too. So they come with all they bad spirits and shit. It's all the same shit, bitch. I don't give a fuck. Somebody gonna be talking about somebody got a hole in the back of their goddamn church stockings. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what you talking about. I'm saying that's for everybody, all of them goddamn ethnicities. Ain't nobody safe from that energy. Nobody's safe from that energy. From your monkey ass, wetback ass, spitback, wet walking talkie ass, wet cornbread ass, goddamn spangler ass, all the way to goddamn it, watch you who ass and shit like that. Shit, yeah, it ain't a time. Goddamn it, we ain't watch the news and they ain't talking about getting ready to go to war themselves and shit like that. So I'm telling you that right, we ain't none of us safe from retardations and shit. I'll say they call it radiation in science and shit like that. No, a lot of times it's old thought forms that we were supposed to be running away from. We keep going into the tail end in our old cycles. We ain't in no broader layer of the esoteric tree and shit like that. We still going in this one cycle thinking we doing better things and run into our old fart cloud we did like 150 years ago or something, 300 years. I'm saying to get more retarded. No, I said just keep getting retarded and shit. Radiation. We keep getting lost of radiation fart clouds and shit. Like, oh, I got a better way to do it. We be thinking it's a new idea and a new mind and body. But then we be the same spirits and shit like that. Oh, no, I got a better idea to do the same flunked out ass shit and still go to hell and shit. Oh, I want to put on that. Real shit. You gotta look at this how you understand. It's how you go deep. You know, deep. Get your peace pipe. Get your peace pipe. You know, get your tea steam getting your tea steam game. In America, we need some kind of concept where it's like pumpkin spice all year round. What the fuck y'all doing? Y'all bullshitting now. Duncan, Pilgrim Man, what you doing? You didn't miss about a goddamn $5 million in 5 weeks already. You know what I'm saying? Already. What the hell wrong with you? Flaunt out that. Other than that, yeah, but back on track. So, peak game. When we start talking about one, that's sparking an emanation. Now, that will be your internal version of sun before you become Mama Sun. You know what I'm saying? Or Mama Natoic or Massasoic. However the case may be, right? Father Madam. Where you're understanding both aspects of the Great Spirit. So you treating the egg cells right, the land and the waters, and you understand the direction in which you're inside of, right? And that will be the mind or the atmosphere and how things go and shit like that. So you are one of the seeds of that. You are one of the thoughts of that. And it's up to you to help produce the lungs and the heart and things of that nature, such as you have spirits that just going along on autopilot that helped you be in a womb so you could develop a heart and a lung and things. Took your father's sperm and your mother's egg cell to come together, as that's what's creating a heart and a lungs, not y'all gotta quit mixing things together and stuff and look at things. How else do hearts and lungs come together? Tell me. So y'all get confused with y'all over exaggerations. That's all. I use that squirrel analogy. You'll over exaggerate the squirrel already having a nature. If you're a squirrel, you don't know why you like nuts, but for the most part, you turn 18 and figure out some more convenient way of getting nuts. Now you done made all other squirrels be walking hamburgers and hot dogs and shit like that, and try to justify Why it's some ancient prehistoric existent way that we supposed to climb tree branches to get nuts and stuff like that. Now nuts, shit, we got to create a synthetic way that nuts do something just on the ground now or something like that. Now nuts don't, we ain't even eating nuts that grow from trees and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. It get weird. It get weird. We gotta know how to balance. Like, we don't be balancing right sometimes. No wonder everybody's hormones unbalanced. No wonder. I said no wonder. Too much estrogen, you can't get no fat off. Too much testosterone, you can't hold on to nothing. Now look at that in all your bodily function qualities and shit like that. Too much testosterone, you ain't gonna hold on to your hairline. You know what I'm saying? Your edges gonna go on vacation and stuff like that. Your depletion, replenish energy is off, unbalanced and everything of that nature and shit like that. And then for the most part, you might can't even think. You always seem like you got a plunger up your ass when it comes to your attitude, male or female. You know what I'm saying? So I think this would make red pill, and I think this would make feminist. You know what I'm saying? Then, goddamn, you got too much estrogen. You hold on too much shit. Goddamn, you probably got too much fat in your chest as a man. You got titties now. You know what I'm saying? This shit, you got grandpa, grandma, Balenciaga shoe, make America great again, Trump dad hat, waistline and shit like that at the age of 19, at the age of 21. Now, you done seen pictures of 6'9". Now, you done seen pictures of Lil Pump and stuff like that. So you ain't about to sit here and tell me I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Too much estrogen going on. You can't hold on to nothing. You're holding on to too much shit and shit like that. It's like you got the water-soluble pills and you got the regular pills and shit. You can look at that in foods too. You know what I'm saying? Try to steer away from cow meat because cow meat ain't really cow meat no more. So the less they be doing shit because they be wanting to eat stuff still too is part of the safest. Not tilapia. A water-soluble will be the fish and then the regular soluble will be chicken. No, I'm saying real shit, man. Goddamn it, if you want to like get beefed up or something like that, some roast beef or some shit like that, but they chalking the hamburger game, they didn't got too rich, so there shit might not be as many cows. The cows y'all see now, them might not even be real cows and shit. You know they got ligers, tigers and lions and shit put together, lion, tiger, and bear mixed in there. You know what I'm saying? Can't even have children, but somehow this exists and shit. So they didn't got so rich on burgers and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why y'all gotta be careful even going to restaurants and shit. You go to the dollar menu and shit like that, them synthetic plastic burger meats and shit like that. Then you pay like $7, $8, $15 or something like that. Then them the real synthetic meat though, still synthetic though. So a lot of y'all be able to be careful and shit like that. Y'all still be trapped in that shit and be walking goddamn 4th of July hamburgers and hot dogs and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Walking hot dog buns and shit. So y'all got to be careful. So they didn't got so rich off the cows. Like they had some energy how they forced us Native Americans to be in. Like they was like, the money was so good after a while how we came up with this new industry and shit. You know what I'm saying? They got us happy and shit. We was so happy. And deers then got low and shit like that. It was about 1 or 2 more deers left and shit like, oh, I said and things like that. So we start fighting each other like, man, who gonna get this deal? We gonna get this deal and shit like a white man ain't give a fuck as long as we killing each other. As long as some divine conquering energy going on, a white man ain't gotta lift a finger and play God. And a white man don't care. It's next to a little piece of paper. That's it. White man don't give a fuck about shit. I said not even a white woman. So y'all gotta understand that shit. Like sometimes y'all be thinking clear enough. Y'all be retarded. Y'all watch enough movies and read enough books to understand certain shit. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes like it was about that and shit. So right now they going through that time. They like, damn, we done milked up everything from America and shit like that. Shit, let's figure out how to make a goddamn synthetic burger. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Then when people catch on to that, let's make them think this vegan burger is something better. So I'm saying it's even worse. I'm saying, because y'all got to peep game. When we started talking about being colonized and shit and invaded, America is God's holy land, though. So for the most part, this is where people want to settle, though. Ain't nobody want to really settle nowhere else. Ain't even people really settling in China and Africa like that, though. You know what I'm saying? But they get everybody else to come over here and take from this land, built everything else up, but still try to make this home and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it mix everything up and shit. So y'all gotta know what's going on. But sometimes they'd be like, yeah, this is the Holy Land, but I don't want nobody taking credit. So they turn into Jay-Z's and make all of us, us Native Americans, the Negro Dame Dash. You know what I'm saying? So they'd try to like make us be like, oh, and then in their mind, convince y'all that this the demon world, the devil world, and the devil help this world and stuff like that through the Native Americans and shit like that. So this is the Native American god, the devil. This how they saying it, but yet they want to come over here and settle. They want to come over here with our settlements and settle and shit like that, and be over here and try to rule Babylon and demonetize it. Yet you always want to come settle though. Y'all want to go back, y'all land. know what I'm saying? So you gotta question that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody really selling on anybody else's land. Even when they colonize, they might be rude, but the white man still be allowing the African man to run that little sector after they use the Arabs to invade all them. They still be allowing the Arab man to be running them, the little Berber man. You know what I'm saying? They still be allowing the Asian man every now and then, as long as everybody getting down with some type of the white man program. White man just means law, the white and black law, the checkerboard thing. You know what I'm saying? As long as you get with that, you could be considered white, no matter if you Asian, Arab, and shit. As long as you sound like Myron Gaines, Cal Connaught, Adam Ross, DJ Academics, you know what I'm saying? Yo, local Mormon. You know what I'm saying? As long as you sound like one of these cats or something like that, you good to go. You know what I'm saying? Your Latter-day Saint. I'm saying you good to go. You get ready to be a millionaire, rapper, singer, basketball player of nepotism, suck, can't shoot no shot in the world. You know what I'm saying? As long as your hairline losing somewhere, they're going to make you have a new shoe. And that's it. And don't go to jail and start looking like you becoming Superman or something like that, shit like that. It'll make some psy out while you in jail to give you 20 more years or something. I'm saying real shit on it. Just can't get out that cage. This don't look like it's productive on society. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go to jail and look like you Larry Holmes sick in the waistline and shit, and then goddamn lose your eardrums and hairline and shit like that, and like your left collarbone look like the 6 inches lower than the right one and shit. Then they be like, oh, let them out. Let them out. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Turn into some Hebrew Israelite or a Muslim or something, some God body more. You know what I'm saying? Or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let them out. Let them out. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I know what they did to Quando Rondo. I know what they did, Lil Durk, this daddy. Oh, that Lil Durk. Lil Durk, this daddy. I know what they did to people. I know that shit. Hit him with the Tyler Perry. You know, I'm fine of that. Real shit. Real shit. Hit him. Check it. Hit him. Oh, fun of that. They're straight DJs. Ain't nobody got more bars than a white man next to a little piece of paper. Nobody got more rapper. They rap the hardest. They got the most bars. I ain't never heard a battle rapper got more bars than a goddamn white man next to a little piece of paper. Hit him. Oh, I said real shit. I don't be seeing certain things. Y'all don't understand certain things. Once upon a time, you thought you can rap. You thought you was fighting the power. You wasn't saying shit. And you probably still doing a spin wheel, cartwheel on a cardboard box right now and shit like that. Talking about you started something, man. You don't know that. Oh, for that. Why does K be the real channel? Now, why does K just be the honest channel and stuff like that? Like, why y'all gotta get all float out and stuff? I'm just giving y'all good medicine, man, new age qualities and stuff like that so y'all can see things in the spiritual world that you too lost in the physical. You're probably too dizzy. Birds and like stars still floating around and shit like that because you thought somebody made you a star. A synthetic celebrated blood cell. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You just thought you still spinning right now. Dizzy as hell on some New York City block right now. Still talking about you created. You started something. You start rapping a bar, hibbity pop. You know what I'm saying? Hibbity pop. Put that. Bucket Man had been doing goddamn spinning a block for about damn 50 years right now. Shit like that. He's still there, boy. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Yeah, shit, you know, don't start talking about you want to be inside the building. You stay right in front of the building on that cardboard box. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know what I'm saying? Bucket Man come roll down the window with gold teeth and shit, looking like the Lucky Charm Box Lab mascot. You know what I'm saying? Gremlin Leprechaun Man. It's like, when start shining light, start telling you, yeah, I'll probably give you another chain when I come back around. You still spinning about 50 years later, waiting for the next chain to come and shit. You satisfied with that, a chain. Oh, for that. You get happy as hell, start dancing real good. You start spinning faster and shit like somebody got a Sega Genesis controller holding down, pushing A and B real fast before they let go and they playing Sonic the Hedgehog and shit like that. You ain't never let go of the goddamn diagonal log yet. You ain't let go of it yet. You know what I'm saying? You spinning for a long time and shit on level 1. I said real shit. I ain't got no coins left and shit like that. I got about like 49 coins left and shit. Real shit will never reach the end of the game and shit like that. Still spinning. There goes the Bucket Man hat. I said, come around. You want another chain, boy? I got this new technology car and shit like that. You could drive around in your own local jail cell. Oh, in front of that. It's called a RoboCop car. Oh, in front of that. / Cybertruck. Oh, in front of that. Flown. What new chain you want next year? I said, that's it. And that's it. You better not want nothing else. You don't want no block. You don't want no street. You don't want no legacy. You don't want that. You know what I'm saying? No, you want this next chain. You get that. You know what I'm saying? This next vehicle or shit, I will put you in dead end. You know what I'm saying? You get that. You can get that. You know what I'm saying? What else you want? You have everything in your mind you want. You know what I'm saying? Shit, your small ass mind. You know what I'm saying? You PB&J in the morning brain. I'm telling Tubby, baby sun face brain. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit. Now, this how you see those qualities. Right here. Spark and emanation. 1. Jump inside of it as a spirit. Well, you're already going to do that. From the inside out, you emanate it. So you're seeing yourself inside of yourself, trying to deal with yourself. That's how you got trapped in your own mind in the first place. Try to get outside of your mind right now. Try to have something outside of subjectivity right now. So before this body and that mind condensed and became the whole mechanism of how this continued to run, this death continued to run with that life, you know that's your first body. You know that's your first emanation. So anything that you see physically playing out all the way to the transits, right? Walking Taka and things of that nature, right? Spring, summer, fall, winter. These are just physical representations and pieces of what you can see in a much more natural state. So this helps you understand why spring is fire. Summer is water. Fall is air. Winter is earth. But for the most part, we're having an emanation, fire, an accumulation of that emanation, water, a transformation or transportation or a way it can look like it's appearing to move from that less dense to become heavy dense, air. And then we get down to it formulating or smoting from this aspect before it even become physical. And then you ground an ideology, you ground a mental concept, right? Ground it, right? Now you're in that earth element before you even see that as a representation in the physical world, and you see that process and you're able to call it that representation that y'all want to call earth, but it's Mecca. You know, fire, feeder, water, many, and things of that nature, right? So for the most part, this take you into a situation of learning how to, and air, Tesla. But just put you into a situation, or you call it man. So or you call it WOHKON. You know what I'm saying? A WOHKON. So these are just different terms for the, what you could call the holy people, holy ones that come from the east, that bend in your physical and be your physical body left side. See what I'm saying? So physically we call it east, but there's no direction spiritually, right? And then therefore it interacting with the right make things pleasant if it's relatable. Joining of two energies, different ones, harmonious, two separate ones, harmful. So when you go to the right, this as above, if you want to look at this in astronomy and astrology, it'll be the sun from a whole Pangea, without talking about continents moving. We're just talking about all the continents together. The whole world is a long house. So when the sun is coming from the east for all of us, when it's in its macro position on the west, so it's evening for all of us, that's the light ray that make North, Central, and Southern America and things of that nature, right? So that will be the Venus sun. See what I'm saying? That's the Venus sun. The overall, if you want to quote unquote say fallen sun, but it's where the consciousness of the light gets most condensed, aka so it's dark or even day, even night, and the internal energy of the spirits that get born out the water or the Indian River and things that lead you to America, then Florida and up. Every continent has a hot spot that people derive from and things of that nature, right? And we come up out the water, and then we come from all of our own continents east to west and fill up the whole land and things of that nature. Ourselves, each ethnicity does that on their own continent, right? And then for the most part, the conscious level will be the comprehension and the spirits in that area that's fashioning that construction. This is why this is Uriel land. You have to make a U from the east to come here, and the spirit that did that, their mind is the atmosphere, and it bend in and it become the environment, and any spirits that's part of them come up out those waters, and that's our ancestors. You see what I'm saying? And every continent has that. So this is how we're developing language and things of that nature. So you don't get lost. So your language is how you represent your body and your deities, your God, to help uphold that specific organ for our global organ that we're supposed to be making for God, and everybody supposed to be honoring their own land in some type of way, whether you live there or not. If you're somewhere else, you're supposed to be in cahoots. You was born from a different mama, continent and landmass. Your mama got different sisters, different little land masses and islands on your whole continent. So that make all y'all the same type of people, but slightly different tongue, and then slightly different kind of ways of seeing things. But in a general sense, y'all all come from that area. So that's how you got in the East, you have if you want to use colorism, the way white man want to put things in a box. You got the white man, and then you get to the northern part, Asia, you have the yellow man. Then you get to the southern part, like Africa and stuff, over there on the east. Then you have the black man, and then you come over here, the fourth one, the red man, or the Tangi man. Now here's the thing: we didn't want to participate with that, and this what made us get colonized last. But it wasn't a colonizing situation because it's the new world. So it was a settling situation and getting us out the way situation, not necessarily a colonizing like how the white man colonized the black man. You can include Arab with the African tribes too, and Berbers and Somalians, right? Because the continent's so big. That's why I said, with a disclaimer, looking at it from the white man perspective, white men always trying to put things in a box. So it don't even matter if they're melting people together. They make up a nationality and make everybody go with that so they can just rule things. You got to look at it from that aspect. So it'll be the white world, the black world, the yellow world, and the red world, and not necessarily DNA and colorism as y'all being the stars, the nations up under the sun and moon make that alignment, and you're supposed to play out the representations and the sunspots and stuff. It's just actually talking about the atmosphere and things of that nature. It's more hot and stuff and things of that nature in Africa, right? So those are the black lands, right? Europe and stuff that make the pale face, right? So that'll be the white lands, right? Over here, over here is the red lands. So it got the Hawaiian look to it. It got the, you see what I'm saying? When you come over here and then reach Florida, then you reach other part in New York, and how it's like that in California, Great Plains, you know what I'm saying? It's the red lands. And then you got Asia. The Japanese and China, they got the yellow lands, the way the sun set over there. Everybody has their own position of a setting from a micro perspective, but from a macro perspective, the sun always is in doing the little thing, the cycle. We're rotating to the left, and it's appear to do that. Then everybody have their own perception of that, thinking it's left, right, or east to west, or whatever the case may be. So different time zones, and different time zones create different light rays, atmospheres that condense waters and environments that create the species. So different animals, different fruits, different humans, and the tongue. You know what I'm saying? You can't, I don't care what kind of science y'all lost in that someone else may be more invested in based off superiority, but you ain't escaping science. A European, no, they come from Europe. A Native American, no, they come from here. An African, no, they come from where they come from, Asia, whether you're melting or not. Now, since this is the new land, they've made it a melting pot, and everybody's so confused with their religion and mind state and not knowing what things look like and stuff, and lost in colorism for the most part, and how white man trying to make people blend in the wrong way. It ain't what we do, it's how we do it. It make people get woken up, but then not understand things, and everybody get combobulated at some point, and then we get it the worst here. You know what I'm saying? Because we the last ones in the middle of genocide. We in the middle of genocide, if y'all know it. To the Native Americans. So, for an example, you could say you Choctaw, Chickasaw, or Cherokee, right? Or something like that. Let's say them civilized tribes. But that's not saying anything. That's just saying you're part of a colony that then civilized a whole bunch of tribes. And shit, I'm saying that was in that area. Like, what's the name of your, see what I'm saying? So, let's say you like part of like 14 bands that was all mixing together, that was civilized, and part of those bands that wasn't was getting mutilized and beat up and moved away. And since y'all was civilized, y'all, just because you part of the same people, that don't mean a German and an Irish is family. So that's how it is here. Just because we're the same people, that don't mean every tribe was family, and we had bands. So the bands that was coming together, we had to intermingle. So us Catawbas even had to mix with, and there's a mix of a bunch of those tribes and shit. Saponia be one, Esa be one, Esau be one. I mean Esau, Asu. You know what I'm saying? These is Blackfeet, Creek. You know what I'm saying? All of these different ones is part of the river. Right, but they named it the Catawba River, the general, but it was just all those tribes that was mixing. So this how you understand how they whitewash you. There ain't no such thing as a Cherokee DNA. You will have to be part of those tribes that was mixing together, that the government tried to control and hope that one of them what gave the white man their DNA when they're doing these things and eugenics and stuff like that. And here's the thing. Let's say, all right, and then they have this thing that they got right now, one blood drop rule. And let's say you Chickasaw or Chickaw or Cherokee. They're only saying that based upon whoever whoever gave their blood, and it probably wasn't even a specific. So let's say the white man saying, what they're thinking is a real Cherokee, this specific, let's say the Deer tribe or the Bird clan, or let's say the Bird clan, we took them more because when they came over here, it wasn't no Cherokees. It wasn't no Catawbas. We got our own name. Catawbas is WOHKO. You know what I'm saying? Cherokees is Yehovah's. You see what I'm saying? All the way down till you get the smaller rivers to the Great Lakes. It'll be Ute because they got the smaller river flows, things of that nature. So I'm saying Dene, smaller river, still a lot of water, but not compared to the Great Lakes area and the East Coast. You see what I'm saying? So the names will be longer and stuff like that. So yeah, Hanukkah. That'll be Haudenosaunee river flow of the body of the Great Spirit, and then the piece of it, what they call it. So that'll be what their Great Spirit is. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta look at it like that. Now, I had another point. I don't miss my point either. Yeah, so for the most part, here's the thing. Let's say they made more deals with the Bird clan other than the Deers and the Blackfeet and the Creek. Yet, all those tribes with other tribes, right, and Essa, right, got mixed in with what you think is Cherokee. And let's say the blood of where you from go back to someone in the Deer tribe, and then you thinking Cherokee is based off someone in a reservation that might got some blood in them from Lumbee, or you see what I'm saying, or Saponi or some, or Tuscarora or some shit like that. And there's no way to tell you what specific tribe blood. This is how they did y'all in Africa and all y'all tribes, and how they did y'all Arabs and stuff like that. They're trying to put everybody in a box, so you just be blended in and something that they can rule from behind and still be their pure self. So this is why they even in that alien energy of trying to get rid of even the white woman, because they know they messed their stuff up a little bit. So they're like, oh, let's just get pure then. We fucking shit up. You know what I'm saying? Think about it like this. They looking at stuff even like this. No matter who they take over, especially the Native Americans, if the first way was to get rid of all of the first sons and the fathers and stuff, it really defeated the purpose once they realized a couple hundred years later that if you just gonna have sex with a Native woman and she ain't about to do nothing but raise the child for the child to still be his natural ways, eventually the child is gonna go to another woman when he get older that's more of not the mixture, if not pure, and eventually it becomes a flushing system, because whatever mixture he blend in with her, they have a child, and it's less percentage of the mixture and more percentage of the pure thing again. And that always go through the extreme flushing of a 300 cycle, but it always be a lead up, 100 year, so everybody get a chance to be a grandkid and a grandmother once or twice before the 300 extreme flushing cycle. And then it'd be a pushing in society too. Like we learn something new to do. Like every 300 years, like 300 years we were traveling by sea. Then the next 300 years we had the wheel. You know what I'm saying? And the next, you know what I'm saying? It's like that. We just got to learn when we go through these shifts. It ain't what we do, it's how we do it. We be doing it in fucked up ass ways that get retarded and then bring weird things in existence that didn't have to exist. So we bring unnatural things into nature, and then we make something unnatural be natural. Like thinking is a natural thing, but the things we do with our thinking, we bring unnatural things, and then now it's an unnatural thing playing out in a natural process. So now it's a natural process for you to do spirit evaporation. It's a natural process for you to do organ implosion. So this is the natural concept of separating from the Garden of Eden, separating from nature and the great spirit and things of that nature, where you can actually experience death, being in a body and separate, and then having a mind that condensed from that body, having a body that condensed from the mind, and then getting lost into a remixed version of the mind again. So now the mind become a mental body, and you get lost in your mental body. You confuse it with a physical body, and it's just a mental body. It's a subjective mental body. And now dumb spirits brought that into existence. That didn't even have to exist. So now we're in life forms like this, where the mental body moves at such a slow rate with so much accumulation, and the vibration is so slow. This realm of reality is a reality that you're calling physical. So I'm saying, where your first body is the mind. That should have always been the only physical. And it would have appeared just like here. This is how we even make the atmosphere and the environment where that make y'all think it was giants and shit. But it's always in our mind, and what we're doing as teamwork makes the dream work, external play out to make us think it's like this. But it's just us creating a heaven other than a hell. It's us creating better realities that can become physical, not as heavy and dense and slow moving, and now you in fear of transitions because you know what you did. So I'm saying that's basically what's going on in its most natural state. You're doing something for yourself other than God, and God give everybody the power of what God have, the ability to help yourself. So since you can't find God, the way you help yourself is not helping God. So God can help you help God. The way you help yourself is to help yourself. So therefore, God will help you help yourself and stuff like that. So that's going to help you create your own little world up out of here. Help you be rebellious. You know what I'm saying? As a spiritual child that no longer that has to be disowned. But you disowned yourself with your own thought, your own ideology. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody convince you. And then with God's father breath atmosphere, you couldn't find it. So that couldn't even convince you, let alone another person and shit like that. So that you're playing with a heavy, more expanded universal law game and things of that nature. So that's what we call all law. All things together, there's a law to it, right? And then therefore, you don't want to get caught in the lower octave, Hallel. You want to stay Allah, not Hallel, and things of that nature. So, you know, they plagiarize a lot of these things as Elyon and stuff like that, or El Elyon. But it's just a position in the sky, a pocket that the sun and moon be in, not a star always being there, and things of that nature. And then that's like true north, right? So when it ports you in that direction, and then you can go to those holy lands and meet those tribes that be doing those things. It was once upon a time we took a kayak and we all used to go to the Great Plains and have big old ceremonies as lone tribes and all hold hands from the Great Lakes to the even Great Plains. It was some deep shit we had cities and shit, fast routes of travel. The way of traveling, y'all think the distance would be different. Think about it like this. If you had a kayak and you wanted to get to New York, comparing that to going to a waterfront and cutting in, because the land is always getting cut by rivers. So this is how we're making river sea waterfronts. You could get to New York in like 3 hours, other than 6 hours from Ohio to New York, or Lenny Lenape. Obviously, Lenny Lenape Hoken. So you will be able to so it's like the water route is you're going through the lands. The bridges and stuff is going over the lands and over the water, creating its own route. So it's going around things. Like the buildings is creating, burning down the woods and stuff like that. So this why it's going around things. That's why it's taking y'all longer to get the things on the continent and stuff like that. But traveling by sea, You could be in Ohio and get all the way to goddamn it Georgia in like 3 hours. Same way to New York. It'd be like the same distance because you're going down like the river pipe. So going down the river pipe, you're cutting through the land that you otherwise y'all driving on a freeway and driving along things. So you'll be taking all these type of routes going around white man mistakes of land structures and shit. Where the river route going straight down to Mississippi and Missouri and stuff like that, man, you'd be able to get to St. Louis fast. All this shit fast and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different route. And then and that's how we used to have our old government and things like that too. They probably still got stuff like that. All you probably got to do is type in Indian map. It ain't gonna take you into India. So it's gonna take you into motherfucking America and shit like that and show you our shit and our forefathers and things of that nature. And what we established, it would made everybody want to come over here and settle and things of that nature. That's why all the rivers is named after Native American. Well, we named these lands. I'm saying we named these cities and states, and just a lot of cities got it etched out in parameters and stuff like that. So it'll be named whoever bought it. You know what I'm saying? So whoever bought it, that's who was named. Like Jamestown, that's who bought it. You know what I'm saying? Georgia, that's people from Britain who bought it. So you have a bunch of Georgians, a bunch of native cosplayers, this is white men who bought it. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that for UK, King George Energies and stuff like that. And Virginia and Carolinas. And then and then that consonants and then using that all over here and stuff like that. And shit. And then bringing the J and Jesuits and all this damn shit. So all that is how you start to get the towns with different names and shit. But other than that, this is how you can lose yourself too if you don't even know why things are being named. So you probably plagiarizing someone else's shit, but forgot what's being the language in the first place and why you named your waters and shit like that. Like who named European Europe? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who named Africa, stuff like that. Was that the people, or was that some other spirits that didn't even care about how the water is moving, how the land craft is, and make the name around that? And that's how you can know what's evil or not too. Because let's say if you in Ghanaian and you Germaned out, that's somebody who they forefathers and stuff named the way they water work. How you got a whole somebody else father and mother and children on your land naming your water that don't even move in that way? Because language is internal then external. So over here is hey, ha, ho, you, he. Asia's got a kind of same concept like that too. Then like European, they got A-E-I-O-U. And then we all can make trigonometry out of it. So it'd be hey, a, ha, ah, ho, oh, who, you, and then he, e. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. And that stretches out. So that's what holy is. And things of that nature. So anytime we're going through the masculine, it'd be hey, ye be the representation of it. Yao will be the expansion of it. Yah or thy will be us giving credence to the great spirit of it. And then a feminine version of it will be the what conceals. You got hey east, then you got ho on the west, right? So that's the sun, AM, PM, evening. Then that'll be mama, ho, soul, full. So Yahweh ho. So you got Yahweh hey, Yahweh ho. And then ho will holds and conceal and things of that nature. So that's why a lot of times it is the spirit ain't feminine, but it's another allegory of the holy layer of water. Holy water, holy, holy. The form, the filling. You know what I'm saying? And it's the whole. It peers through the physical reality, and it's through that other layer. So it's whole. And then for the most part, that other layer is the feminine layer. Once it's the masculine, the feminine whole. And then once you reach through that hole, you're with the holy ones, and you can see the whole cycle of something like that, right? So you'll understand the Father's breath, Yahweh, and then you understand what holds it and conceals it, so the atmosphere don't not be scattered and linear. It conceals it and condense and become Mama, Yahweh Ho, and things of that nature. And then we give that grace as Father Madam, Yahweh Yahweh Ho to Yahweh Ha, right? And then for the most part, seeing that transition as a cycle, got what Wakantaka, or you know what I'm saying, Hanukin, or whatever the case may be, right? And things of that nature, right? Or Dene. You know what I'm saying? Or however, whatever the case, right? Even how everybody put it together, Monida. You know what I'm saying? but mo ni da, but that's still two da, because you're gonna have a and ah. There's two different sounds and things of that nature. Just how you get L and E and shit like that, or G and J. But you got the same vibrational tones. You're seeing a masculine and feminine play out in a lot of different things. So, you know, with the tongue, right, we're speaking out a vibration, and a vibration is the feeling, right? So speaking it out, masculine, but it comes from the feeling, being birthed from it, when we do everything in reverse. We come from the spirit, great spirit, father, breath, mother, condensing, environment. Then we jump inside of it and then blow it up in reverse and things of that nature. So then we get the messages from mama being born in the room, being the children, get the feeling, we react and respond first. Then we need to have the right reaction and response to know what we're seeing, to be in the right direction, father's breath, atmosphere. So that's what we speak out. So then we have that feeling, that vibration, and then it gives us a sound, and then that word can represent that vibration, and then understanding how that vibration can let us know where we at spiritually. So where we at spiritually is our space, your individual spirit is your soul, and then you got that vibration, your awareness, thoughts and feelings, that represent how you move. Without that, you'll be no thing, and other spirits doing the same thing won't be able to see it. Then it condense and become a motivation and adrenaline, and then it become what you're emanating, and this is our first body. And then when we do that for long periods of time, that slow up and become this version of it. But for the most part, it could have stayed there. So birth is just emanating, life is just extension, and then death is this expiration. You know what I'm saying? So you'll have birth, extension, deterioration, death. 1, 2, 3, 4, fire, water, air, earth, wakantanka, spring, summer, fall, winter, equinox, solstice, Yahweh, them plagiarizing it with the V at that time. They be doing it with J too and stuff. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta look at it like that. And that's how you look at it in the same holy, holy, holies, great spirit, giving you messages by the children, holy ones, to be able to see that in the holy, holy environment and the atmosphere, to be able to keep that order in check in the holies. You being that representation, and you seeing that physical representation outside of you for any other spirit that may start to pluck from that and start to do it out of order because it's something self-serving due to the fact of expectation or outcome, or them being in their energy of sparking something before it reaches tail end. You know what I'm saying? So it helps you understand, right, where the mind could get lost in its own season and don't be in this transition of what's constant is only change, right? What do I mean by that? You can have an emanation, fire, a thought, a feeling, collection of it, water, you swimming in it, your emotion, your reaction, your response. Then you seeing how that transition playing out. So it creates steam. You being able to think, see what's in between, aka that mechanism coming to be, and you not getting lost in one or the other, the fire or the water. You knowing that fire becomes water and things of that nature, and you seeing that in that steam world, the third world, right? And this is how we're making the blue world, right? But and then we could pull from that to set fire to it. But at the same time, before we do that in a negative or positive way, this year making the blue world, right? We're making that substance before we become aliens. And then for the most part, you could get caught in the future or the past. The past will be the water, and the future will be the fire. So the first shall be last, last shall be first. This is where that seed come from, because you emanated from the inside out first, fire. Then you inside of your own mind and accumulated more projections in that astral travel. I mean, more, yeah. So astral projection, fire, astral traveling, just more astral projections inside of that first one, right? So then now you're in that water, right? So that's how it turns. So since fire was first, it was first shall be last, last shall be first, air could get you confused, because you'll be thinking water came first or the feminine came first, and then you'll be comparing and contrasting that something else had to be before it, or you had to go through a door that was made before you, not knowing that you had a simultaneous level where you make this mechanism as a procedure, and you're given one quality better than the other based upon what suits you. So this is how you get lost, and you're not understanding that there's going to be a piece within a piece, water within water, spirit within spirit. So you're going to be able to see fire within water, air within water, earth within air. You know what I'm saying? Earth within fire. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be able to see all these qualities and things of that nature. Air within fire. So for the most part, you would get lost based upon not knowing what came first, or even in that order. So for the most part, when you emanate a fire and then you create the water accumulation of fire, it cool off and spread out, and it's something you could be in that look like it's sustainable and it's just warmth enough, aka Aries making the Leo to become a Sagittarius, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, right? They're just in a transition. That air quality could get you lost into the past and the future and things of that nature, because you're trying to think about the future while you're trying to observe the past. And for the most part, the future represents fire and the past represents water. But you're only going to be able to see something in the past. So you're going to be mixing fire with water because you're using light to envision the past to think that you're going to make something in the future, or that's the same thing going to happen in the future. So it become a synthetic fire and things of that nature. So you put the fire in the water, and then you replace the water with the fire, and then everything you see, you're just in reaction mode. And that's how you get deja vu too, and things of that nature. You get caught into thinking what happened in the past, what happened in the future, or you can look at the past and control the future in some way, and then your future becomes something of the past, right? So you become a person that can't get away with something as usual, or once it become more outdated, because you uphold a form that don't exist. So you're lost in the air aspect and trying to make something exist, logically bring something that don't exist. So it's like a frustration, it's a struggle, have to prove others, make them add on to something that's unnatural, but make it natural because it's our natural qualities, kinship. So it turns into validation or force or using fear. But this also could get lost into your own mind and organ implosion and spirit evaporation and detached from the earth process that's supposed to come from that. Because once it's fire, 1, accumulation, 2, water, you seeing how that transition, 3, fall, and then this reaching this deterioration, fall, right? You get scared of when it deteriorate, that's supposed to die, and you're supposed to be in this process of the mechanism. Spring, summer, fall, winter, gonna come again. You got the ability to do that same thing with your own micro state, but you reach air and then get scared of earth and not even think that that's what's going on based upon not understanding this is a procedure. So you'll get to air, try to understand the future and the past, so using air to help you out with the water and fire, never allowing how you got in this first place with the earth quality for you to come here, and then now you never substantiate something, just lost in justification of coping. Now nothing never gets solidified or solidified or something like that. It's always something that has to be rethought, re-updated, re-concept. That's a mind that's all over the place. So you probably become a director of Star Trek or something like that. But at the same time, this is false alien. This is not real. You know what I'm saying? It's synthetic, because when you're making the blue world, right, you're making all the seeds that make the things green, like weed, tree leaves, grass, plants, bushes, and stuff like that. And this is the thing that supplied the platform for things to grow with the nutrients packed in it. So this is the spermicide, this is the cell salt, this is the mustard seeds and stuff like that. And you have to keep track of these things. Your thoughts and your feelings is what's keeping these things flourishing. When you lack caring about the atmosphere and environment, these things shrivel up, no matter if you had a lot that was previously created and you soaked it up physically, and then you're trying to figure out where these things go. They don't grow no more. I'm trying to tell you how. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, this is why I don't grow no more. Physically, we act out of energy, not knowing that that's how these things grow. Then it start to soak up physically, and then we forget what's first shall be last, last shall be first. Forgot the spiritual space we was in to make this happen in the first place, to make this Garden of Eden in the first place, to make this heaven in the first place. Then it's become a forever hell. So I'm saying, so you got to peep game. But at the same time, having this type of transition or equilibrium aspect, these are things you're supposed to be outside of, but keep in control, not be inside of and trying to come up with a game of how to make this work for you on the self-serving purposes that you end up not even doing what this is. And it end up being a synthetic version where you're using all of these things anyway. You got no choice to do these things for a version that you make up inside of your mind. And then you might get lost into a material God worship also. So you got to be careful of that too. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, fire, that is just 1. Emanation. 2, an accumulation of emanations. It become cooled off and spread out. Water, right? Clouds. So now you got now we're creating a blue world, or grayish, then from dark blue, then blue to light blue, right? Then once you keep creating that type of cycle, right? fire, water, fire, water, fire, water. That condensity create the air, but then now you're reaching into alien status. You're spreading out what's being made up. And every time the fire, water, this is how you do it microly. Teamwork makes a dream work macroly. We see it in a more spread out, thickened way. This has become the sun and moon and stuff like that. Each position that they're doing this in, we can keep track of it and call it time spans. So each time of the year got different cell salts when the sun and moon have different relationships. Father and mama have different relationships. When they have sex, they create different cell salts, and that produce a different season, and even micro-wise, different weeks throughout it, different things going on and stuff like that, the cell salts. So different type of fruit, different type of ways we react and respond, and how our body is reacting and responding to nature itself, our physical nature and nature. So what make you think your mind is different? So this is the true astrology, true astronomy, the true religion. You see what I'm saying? Where you're tapped into nature and the holy ones, the ones who pierce through these realities and give you messages of how to keep these things on track, in order. So there's a bunch of different aspects throughout your experience. Beyond this, that you get messages through the holy ones, that anytime you're going through an experience, there's a holy one that can teach you what procedure you're going through and how it plays out as a mechanism. Therefore, your bad ain't as bad as someone else, and you'll always be able to see someone else and be able to be like, well, it could be worse. So you're always getting grace, and you're always with the holy ones and things of that nature, right? So this is esoteric medicine that you break down in the physical and be able to find in the holy and be able to put it together to be able to help someone else out when they're sick, mentally and physically. And this is how we find things in nature, right? So you got to keep that in mind. And it's simple things. It's not pseudo. For an example, if you're in nature a lot, before a lot of things got extinct, and there's certain plants and shit in the land, and let's say you scraped your arm or whatever the case may be, you even look at that food-wise. When something sour, you blend it out with something sweet. If something too sweet, you blend it out with something sour. If something too spicy, you blend it out with something mellow. If something too mellow, you blend it out with something spicy, whatever the case may be. So there's certain plants when you open up the stem and stuff like that, right? If it's dry, right, that's made for other things. Based upon you having a scrape, you went through something harsh. Spiritually, you was going through a travel. Mentally, it made you react or respond to something that was probably harsh, not shaped and carved or smooth. In your internal relations. External, your relationship with nature or someone else became rough. Whether you was in a fight, playing a sport, stickball, or riding a bike, and you just was going too hard and you fell and scraped yourself. There's a certain, now, compared to one stem, if that's spicy, let's find a plant in the stem with mellowness. It might be a stem inside of a plant that got creamy substance in it, other than one that's more dry or more water soluble, where it's more watery in it, like celery or something like that, was just like a form of water. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't use that. You use that one. You use a camelon, you know what I'm saying? Or you'll use the shit in certain other plants and shit like that, as far as what they call that, what's that plant called? I forget. It's a lot of shit though. You got it was ones we even made soap out of too. But if it's mushy in it, you'll take that and put that over the wound and shit like that, and it creates a seal. So it helps your blood be able to formulate there and not die so fast there, so your skin don't heal in a missed way, so it get dark spots there or duplication of skin made. And for the most part, it cool off the stinging or whatever the case may be and shit like that, right? So it'll be things like that when you're the medicine man or the medicine woman, what you're thinking about. If you got somebody in front of you in this new age dumb way of thinking, want to call you pseudo. You see what I'm saying? Back in our times, I'm an ancient spirit, but back here, these is normal things. You know what I'm saying? It's not to not over exaggerate and shit like that. So y'all got to keep that in mind too. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said slippery, but yeah, stuff like that. It's just about matching things and testing it out, and you'll get that result. But when you're living it out as an experience, you can't really explain it to someone in that type of way. When you start to say, you sink that spiritually first. Your spirit was in a certain space, developed that awareness, and it led you to that physically. That'd be a whole discussion that lead other people saying fuck your spirituality or something like that when you get too much into that and storytelling. You see what I'm saying? But that's the only way to find shit in nature. Or you dumb. Like you dumb and dumber and dumbest. They need to make a movie about dumber and dumbest. And the dumber or something like that. And then you would need help from someone that would give you good advice, but then you don't want to hear their storytelling of how they came to that conclusion. But yet there ain't no other example. So then when you go thinking you know best, when your way of thinking you knew when you wrote it down, but without the experience, and then it start not working as much, then for the most part you want to call that person a charlatan or some shit like that, or whatever the case may be. And then you want to say what they saying is bullshit. Where no, you have to go through the experience first. It ain't me giving you the specific diet. It might be what space I was going through to figure out my specific diet work. I might have figured out eating at this time is better than eating at another time. Then everything that came from that thought form may have made me go towards only eating certain things, right? So that's not, I'm wise enough to teach you in that way. If I'm not wise, I'm a charlatan. I'm going to teach you, hey, buy my diet plan. And that specific diet might not even work for you, no matter if you're doing it at that time or not. If I teach you, go find your own diet, but at this time may be the right time to do it at that diet, you're taking the actual practice, the holy holies, but also you're still open with your own spiritual responsibility to develop your own subjective practice. So now you're able to be a part, not governed. And you're not going to have no animosity developed to look at me as a charlatan, and I'm not going to be a failure of a wise teacher without being in that spiritual travel myself to know that that's an outcome, to stop my own mistakes in my tracks, to develop the mental vibration, to develop the words, to be able to be an orator, to explain that to an individual, so an individual don't even go in their own tracks to be like, well, I still take their own stuff because my specific diet plan may work or it may not, but yet I was wise enough to have that information on my own walk of daily bread to be able to bring that information to you, so I'm always clear and pure. So even if you do fall on your track and do call me a charlatan, it's not, I'm going to still have grace in the word of God, and you'll have to come around, or if not, you going to hell, because that was substantiated there. It was your spiritual responsibility, and you supposed to know in your own life, anytime somebody give you some advice, even if it's good advice, and you in a situation of knowing that was something you were supposed to know too. You're in a vulnerable position, and you have to get taken away from what all of our spiritual responsibility is. Be able to be aware and do things the right way, and not have someone look at you like you stupid. And from a less layered spiritual stance as possible. When you get put in that position, you will even try to do the opposite that's wrong, just because you're seeing in the light of not coming up with the idea first that's more close to spiritual nature and not a synthetic version of nature, that you could be lost in a synthetic world, think you was doing the right thing, and a person came around and really convinced you that it was wrong, but everything you accumulated from it, right or wrong, is still going to make you feel like, damn, I know deep in the spirit they right, but I'm so deep in this, I gotta be wrong. If I'm wrong, I don't want to be right concept. This is how a lot of Christians is and stuff like that. You could be teaching Christianity for so long, get hit with all this new, smacked up in the face, hit with a new technology, new age, wild, wild west, arrow and bow and shit like that, aka your religion debunked, and get all this new age Aquarius information to you and shit like that, and therefore you get put in that type of energy though. You know what I'm saying? Damn, if I'm wrong, I want to be right type concept. It's just kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a deep game. But for the most part, you have to look at these. Damn, we're an hour in. So for the most part, fire, emanation, accumulation, water, right? And then third, thinking, logic. Then fourth, earth, substantiating. So as above, what WOHKO's talking to teach us, right? Birth, fire, water, summer. So you got birth, spring, life, water, deterioration, fall. Then you got death or foundation, because it really ain't death, it's just foundation. You know, the spirits that's found understand it as that, not being demonized, right? So that's earth and things of that nature. So you could be lost in search. You're a lost spirit, and you probably worship spirits that's lost in the material. So those are gods, and gods is a title. So those are lost spirits and things of that nature. Or you could be found spirits, aka just being in things and know what you lie in, so you're not lying to yourself. So you are the whole part of the holy ones, piercing through these realities, because you know that you ain't have to pierce through nothing. You already there, fashioning these things up. So you're part of the holy ones and things of that nature. So you create the foundation. You're the fount spirits, spirits that fount themselves. They already was fount. So those spirits is the only ones that create the ideology and the concepts of creating a foundation. So this is why you even get who did things first and last, all the way to the lodges over here. Lodges is native to America. With Masons, with the Mama Natoics and all the chiefs had first and things of that nature, and the ones for the females and stuff like that. Then they burnt all of our cities down and stuff like that and replaced it with what? Masonic lodges, Catholic churches, and stuff like that, right? So that's how you know that's synthetic. That's how you know that's wrong. So they're probably just in these buildings trying to discuss how they're going to create a government for each city, whatever they launch at for each city and stuff like that. It don't have anything to do with any spirituality, and anything that you think is hidden ain't hidden. And the reason why they ain't it ain't no knowledge that they're keeping from you. If they tell you, you just see it like, oh, they copying other people's culture. So that's what's being practiced. So if you see in Native American statues or knowledge about what Native Americans know about and stuff like that, okay, it's with the white man copying to take over somebody's land or whatever the case may be. So I'm saying, not them knowing anything. The only thing they know how to do is colonize and kill people. You know what I'm saying? Make money. And try to uphold that. They ain't got nothing to do with no God or anything in that nature. You know what I'm saying? Unless you gonna believe it, and it's a way that they get paid off of it and keep you civilized. That's the only way they sit there and talk about God or anything of that nature. Other than that, you got the game fucked up in your brain. But for the most part, that's how you just understand what's first. When it comes to each people's land. Now, wherever you from or whatever the case may be, y'all can speak for yourselves. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when you think about these transitions, you can get lost into the air, the logic, the thought, the fall time of things of that nature. Then you worship what comes after that. Earth or death or wintertime and stuff like that. Then try to create a synthetic version. Fire, water, a spring or summertime of that. And then it becomes this Talmud type of concept where you want it to forever be light. And then you try to create a synthetic version of light that it could always be daytime down here and block out the sun in some type of way, shape, or form. So then it becomes a synthetic way of life. So we have to be careful that we're not thinking too far separate from the Great Spirit. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, a lot of these spirits is gone too. You know what I'm saying? Like when y'all hear me say Washihu and the pilgrim stuff, a lot of these spirits, they're ones who have grace in here now, is trying to be positive. A lot of them did orgy evaporation and stuff like that. So you have to know where superiority mind did come from, colorism mind did come from. Like beyond you being an ethnicity, you don't know sometimes, especially when it comes to the white man, like how they probably question things even when they hear other people say the atmosphere is beating you up or why the sun burn you and shit like that. And the white man mind, they like, oh, this what y'all calling God? Well, I'm going to conquer that too. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to conquer y'all. And since this y'all God and this y'all world too, and it's punishing me in the sun, I'm going to punish that shit too. So the white man, in the white man mind, y'all be thinking everybody need to come together and all God come together. That's not how the white man think. The way the white man think, get rid of you and that. That's what y'all got to think. Y'all not understanding that. The white man trying to come up with another concept of why they're here. They trying to think to themselves, well, maybe I am an alien. Well, maybe I am something like that. It's really you just come after other people. And you just born in an environment that's constructed after other people did it already. So you're always a second coming type of, and you're never trying to get back on track. That's the issue. But so you practicing all other type shit and losing yourself and other races and stuff. But at the same time, it's when you hearing a lot of people saying that, the white man is looking at it like this. Well, fuck y'all and your God. I don't believe that because it's allowing me to do whatever my internal problem is. It's something like that. And then if that's true, that reason why I'm getting burnt by the sun because of that shit like that, I'm a figure out the way to kill that motherfucker too. And I'm gonna run this fucking world. And that's how the white man think. Y'all, that's what y'all don't understand. See what I'm saying? Y'all be thinking some other dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? But they trying to create technology for real. Just for that. or you don't know how to watch movies. You don't know what Buffy the Vampire Slayer is. Goddamn it, the Subsidiary Angel. I'm saying all these damn beast movies and shit like that, and Bloodthirsty and Eaten, aka it's just an allegory of, hey, we need to mix with other ethnicities, or get rid of this motherfucker son if whatever they talking about is true. But we don't give a fuck what they talking about doing shit like that, and we about to be that. Y'all said the end, and they mind. But I love all y'all for the ball. And now y'all got the nuance to why history speaks for itself too. I'm saying you ain't about to defeat history, bitch. Internet might not be defeated. Shit, history ain't either. I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. Now listen to the bottom of the Terry's Move. I'm a Royal Archangel Uriel, and I really care about God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And love everybody. Everybody love each other in this motherfucking shit. So we can all make some new money. Let's get it.